Okay, say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Do I need to name this video?
Hello.
Alright. Imagine that it's 2025. The cell phones aren't allowed in school anymore because it was offensive if you took one away from a child whenever everybody else is carrying them around in their pockets. Every child sits in class with their phone on vibrate. Instead of listening for the teacher, they're listening for the sound of the vibration against their leg to get their next text or update on the score on the game. Instead of talking to each other, the children in the lunchroom are texting and sending pictures. They're afraid to talk to the person sitting across from them because they don't want to be looked at as awkward or a weirdo. Because that's what texting score is nowadays. The elementary kids are outside, but they have now built video game arcades instead of playgrounds. I don't know about you, but this is where I see our future headed if we don't do anything about it. After researching the subject, I have come to agree with the experts that say the best way to prevent this from happening is to take the electronics away. Schedule at least an hour, if not more, with your child every day. Yes, I agree, times have changed, and I'm not saying not to give your child an electronic at all, but the best thing that you can do is limit your time. You can take your dinner time and say no cell phones at the table. We have to leave them in our rooms. Or if you go out to dinner, you can leave your phones at home. A study done in 2012 by a man named Barney McCoy stated that the typical college student plays with his or her digital device an average of 11 times a day while in class. According to a new study by University of Nebraska, Lincoln Associate Professor stated that the numbers have only gone up since then. Electronics can also have a deadly effect on your children if they're using them while driving. The CDC stated that as of June 2017, texting while driving is banned in 46 states and the District of Columbia. 2 additional states ban texting while driving only for new drivers. This could be a problem because whether you're 15 years old and just got your license or 50 years old, it doesn't matter. You can still get in a wreck whenever you're texting and driving. Video games are another thing that come to mind. Science Daily has released a statement that says today nearly 1 in every 10 kids has an addiction to video games. There are many causes of this, however, the main preventative is the parent. One of the causes is that a lot of kids nowadays feel obligated to have their electronics. They feel like if their parents don't give it to them, they have a reason to fuss and fight with their parent. And sadly, a lot of the times they get what they wanted. Their peers are another thing. If you send your child over to their friend Joe's house for the weekend and all Joe does is sit at the TV and play a video game, most likely your child's going to be interested in that video game as well, and they're going to come home wanting the video game. And as a parent, you want to make them happy and give them the stuff they want, so most likely that Christmas you're going to go out and buy them the video game. That has a lot to do with the upbringing as well. A lot of families nowadays are brought up mostly sitting in front of their TV or electronic is a TV, but they're brought up in front of the TV, a computer game, anything like that. It's pretty obviously we have a problem, but what can we do? First, we should be aware of what exactly a healthy amount of electronics is. Pediatricians say that children should not have any more than 2 hours of screen time per day, but still less is best. Second, we need to add more activity into our kids' daily routine. Doctors all over the U.S. are advocating for children to get more playtime, more time outside, anything like that. Last but not least, we need to be a good role model for our children. According to a study done by Sarah Lappy, MD, increased screen time is associated with a higher rate of childhood obesity, behavior problems, ADHD, poor sleep quality, poor physical activity, and poor school performance. She also stated that multiple studies have shown that as parents increase their screen time, the children also increase their screen time. Though it may bother you, do what you can to limit the electronics. Try to raise your child, not program your robot. Kids these days are becoming less active and more obese, and less alert and responsive to their peers. It's not possible for one person to change everyone's perspective on electronics, but you can change your families. My idea of limiting electronic time may seem harsh or unfair. However, I'm sure you'll have a better relationship with your family and friends, and better health in the long run if you're not stuck in front of your TV 24/7. Thank you.